$148 billion in VC capital alone. So I think that money is going to probably shatter that record. There was something interesting. American Express does a survey of entrepreneurship amongst women, Liz, and the numbers really blew me away. Of course, just like the chart we saw there, coming back, but from 2017 to 2016.
Remember now, American Express, this is nonpartisan. This ain't the American Jewish League. This ain't the NAACP. This ain't La Raza, La Reconquista. This ain't the gay union. This is American Express. Everybody got one, right? Everybody that's about somebody.
A comparison of net new women-owned businesses added per day in the last year, 1,821. The last boom period we had from 2007 to 2012 was 1,100. Post-recession 900. So we've doubled the post-recession rate in the last year alone. I don't think most Americans realize 1,821 businesses, new net businesses for women in this country every single day.
It's pretty impressive.
You mean Trump the misogynist? Trump the rapist? Trump they let you grab their on the bus? He did all that for women? Stormy Daniels must have got some of that kickback money.
So women are empowered all over the place. And by the way, a lot of surveys have shown that money management done by women, investment decisions made by women, etc., tend to work out pretty well because they are cautious, but they judge their risks pretty well. And when you're starting up a business, Charles, that is exactly what you have to do. You have to weigh the downside, which women tend to do better than men. I'm obviously generalizing here, but
Wait, that's man bashing there, ain't it? I mean, since we talking isms all day, sexism, racism, misogynism, are you an ism? You heard what she just said.
It's true. That is a characteristic that's come out in...
Black man, you supposed to turn over the table. Where you at? You ain't supposed to let her get away with that. You grinning like a chess cat up there.
Surveys, but they can be bold. And so it's a pretty good combination.
Can we? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would just say, though that number sounds impressive, and it's a big jump.
Hold it. Did you? Well, let's get back. Let's focus in on that. Is that black? Am I reading that right? I can't. Black, Asian, and Latinas, they getting that kind of payback, that kind of kickback, that kind of payola. I got to stop clowning. This is serious business.
Because about 10 years ago, it was about 30% of all small businesses, and now it's at 40. So we're still, for female businesses, it's still less than half.
I better zoom in on this one here, because they're going to say all them numbers was made up. Ain't no American Express. What the heck is that boy there talking about?
But we're getting there. Right. Women are getting to being closer and closer to that 50% of all small businesses. And just in the past 10 years, and even in the past 2 years, we've seen a big jump. Whereas you don't see that in corporations. When you look at the number of CEOs in the S&P 500 or even in the Russell 2000, the small cap companies, it's still only 5%. So we don't see leadership in public companies, but we're seeing almost half of small businesses.
Despite all the corporate virtue signaling, right? And all of the things, and
And it really hasn't grown.
I would argue that there's more of a channel, though, that has to be sort of followed in the big business. It is a longer...
A lot of y'all ain't going to be able to stay with them numbers because you can't think past your nose. But all they showing is women been cut out throughout all them years. Look at them years. Women been cut out of the process, but they've been gaining since the dirty, low-down, misogynist Trump took it over. Somehow, women have been gaining in the process there. Let's get back to the serious business. I'm starting. I got to pray with you because this is, let's just put it like it is. The globalists, we'll just say, the social engineers, they've been playing with us. So I got to play with you too. Get back to it, Johnson.
Whereas you can start a business tomorrow.
I think it's also really great news for consumers, by the way, because women, even when they don't make the money, they are also in charge of actually spending it a lot of the time for a lot of things. So the more women in charge, it means the more, people at the head of businesses who actually understand what
Well, you do deep dives into economic data and you do deep dives into regulations. I mean, do you see Is this the beginning, the end? Where are we with this story, this part of the story?
I think
Renewed
we're
animal
growing.
spirits.
I actually think that this is a trend that's going to continue. I mean, women have been doing well and better for a long time. I mean, and I think this is a trend that it's just the beginning. I actually think there will be, I believe it.
Only the beginning.
A lot of progresses in big corporations. It's going to take time. I mean, there need cultural shifts and all this, but I mean, it's unstoppable. I mean, women are educated. And
well, if you go back to colleges, right, and the graduation rate, certainly, if you go back to that part of the pipeline, it's inevitable, right? Because right now it's just, they're just outdoing men.
And business school, Charles.
And business school, right. So it's just inevitable that pipeline will break any barriers that remain. But overall, though, I mean, are you optimistic? You're investing money for people. Are you optimistic overall that this enthusiasm that we're seeing, that's reflected, forget about political polls, that's reflected in economic data, that this has a strong tailwind?
I do, and another thing I also just see is a higher participation of women in the labor force in general. That's always an important factor of a strong environment, particularly your GDP and your economics. The more people you have participating, when half of the population is participating, it's a good thing. So I see this as great, and the closer and closer we get to 50%, the stronger an economy we're going to see.
I would also just add one more thing. Social media has made so many things easier. You can start up a business in your basement or your attic or whatever because of social media. A lot of the infrastructure that you used to have to accumulate and build, you really don't need anymore. So I think that has opened a floodgate to the kind of things we're talking about.
And there's no more stigma. You can go to a bank if you're a woman and you don't have a husband to co-sign your loan. It's not a problem. I mean, it used to be a real business starting stopper. This is not the case. The stigma of being a woman in business is just, doesn't exist like it used to.
And this money sloshing around here, you think that's going to still be available? Because there's got to be a lot of cash. I mean, we're just looking at these profits and the money that's being raised and these funds that are being raised.
Sidelines.
Billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of investors that are hesitant even after this 10-year bull market. We still see a lot of cash just within companies, and there's still a lot of cash available to
But
be
there's pressure, though, right? I mean, for professional money managers, whether it's in the market or anything else, those who've been sitting on this cash and have been cautious and they keep watching performance, at some point, you've got to get in the game. You've got to chase performance if you're going to keep your position.
As professional money managers, we've already been in. I think it's more, individual investors who just haven't quite been willing to jump back in the market. But we've always been 100% in the market.
But there has never been so much money in the hands of angel investors who are willing to take kids out of business school and give them $100,000 for a startup. It is unbelievable what's going on.
You hear what he said? Take women and kids out of business school and give them $100,000. Come on now. I'm going to end this video. That's all you need to hear. Sleepo, I know you're still sleeping. You ain't going to change your mind because you got what's called cognitive dissonance. You got what's called Dunning, what's the name of that? Dunning, it's a brain fart where you can't reconcile your last thoughts. I'll think of it later. Dunning-Kruger, look it up. You got Dunning-Kruger's disease. Sleepotins.
Oh, guys, I tell you, it is a phenomenal time. I love